I remember the first trailer for Alan Wake as the first glimpse I had of what is now our current generation of hardware, and I was thoroughly amazed. Now, 5 years and one hellish development cycle later, Alan Wake finally made its way onto my Xbox 360 disk drive, and I'm still amazed. You play the titular character, a writer with writer's block, looking for a quiet getaway in the town of Bright Falls. However, the placid town hides its dark secret, the darkness under Cauldron Lake. Wake wakes with a week's worth of memories wasted and his wife missing. The setup is good in a simplistic way, but the way in which it is presented is superb. The voice acting all around is top-notch and goes a long way towards making the characters seem like genuine people who are just trying to stay alive through this supernatural mystery. The collectible pages of Wake's unwritten manuscript provide wonderfully dreadful foreshadowing. The ending of the game proper seems a little abrupt and unsatisfying, but Remedy is continuing the narrative with DLC packs that serve as episodes tacked on to the main story. And when I say episodes, I mean it. The game is presented in a TV show format in the vein of Twin Peaks or Lost. Every episode ends on a cliffhanger and a title card, making me very reticent to put down the controller at the end of each session. This, along with other nice touches, such as a large cast of characters and highly intense atmosphere, really make the game a joy to experience, if only to push on to the next cutscene. Standing between you and Alice is a horde of darkness-possessed townsfolk called Taken. Your only weapon against these inhuman masses is light, from wherever you can get it. Your main weapon is your flashlight, which you can concentrate to blind enemies, but any light source, including a flare gun and electrical wires, can be used to great effect. Once the darkness is burned away, then you can resort to your firearms. The combat feels great, especially your handy little dodge move, but throughout the game you will fight around 5 enemy types, all of which require this basic strategy to defeat, and it will get tiresome. Once the credits roll, you'll probably have put about 8 hours into Alan Wake. I believe this is a perfect length for a stressful game like this, but for those who want more, I had a good time going back through Nightmare Mode and searching for collectibles. And boy, are there a lot of them. I played through the entire game 3 times, and I still found it a lot of fun on subsequent runs. Alan Wake looks gorgeous, especially considering the many revisions it must have undergone. The lush forest environments of the Pacific Northwest are highly detailed and quite beautiful, which is good considering that you'll be looking around every tree and bush for enemies and collectibles. The only downside of where the game takes place is that much of it looks similar, as much of what you explore is simply trees. The developers do a nice job of mixing things up in the second half though. The character models look pretty good, but the facial animation does not. Mouths rarely match up exactly with the voices, and this takes some getting used to. Special recognition goes to the lighting. Everything from Alan's flashlight to the moonlight on the water is quite beautiful, which makes sense considering the game's overriding motif of light versus darkness. Alan Wake surprised me by finally reaching store shelves, and it surprised me even more with its quality. It's fun and engaging, satisfying and draining all at once. An overall fantastic experience. The story gets a 9. It's a great horror story that will keep you enthralled from one episode to the next, and I can't wait for even more DLC. Design pulls in a 9.5 for laying out and continuously ramping up the events in an original way. Gameplay scores an 8.5 as the basic mechanics are a lot of fun, though they can become repetitive. Presentation gets an 8.5. While mostly great, it's got a few archaic issues that keep it down. Replay value ranks a 9.5. I was happy to start all over again as soon as I finished, and the collectibles hunt is a fun one. Finally, Alan Wake scores a 9, and so we can add another great action thriller to Remedy's stellar background.